A few weeks ago, Zach did a video on using toothpaste as thermal paste. And in the comments, yes, we do read the comments, a man named Player Panda Games left a comment asking to do toothpaste on a GPU. So here we have a GPU, and here we have toothpaste. So I'm going to go ahead and get this set up and run it stock and see what it does, and put some toothpaste on it and see what that does. Today we have the Sapphire Radeon R9 390 from Is 2 Trash GPUs Better Than 1 Trash GPU? And this is a very trash GPU. It's a mid-range GPU from like 5, 6, 7 years ago. It didn't do that great then. It really doesn't do this great now. And most importantly, it has a direct dye cooling solution, so the toothpaste is going to be applied directly to the dye. So hopefully it will have the best case of cooling this poor GPU. Set up on Benchy here. Benchy has the R7 1700, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and now it will have a R9 380, not a 390. It's funny because I have 2 of these GPUs. I'm not afraid to kill this one. I mean, even if I only had one, I probably still wouldn't be afraid of killing it. Man, it's so bad that it like actually doesn't get hot fast enough to turn the fans on immediately. Like, it's running firmware 1080p, but only like 52 FPS. Oh, it's finally getting up over 50 degrees, so it's finally turning on the fans. It's actually not that bad. In a single firmware run, it only gets up to 60 degrees. That's very good. I mean, it doesn't perform that great because it's kind of a low-end GPU, but for it to be that cool the entire time is pretty impressive. Anyway, it scored 3084. Hopefully we could see a difference between the runs. I'm just going to run a GPU stress test and see what I can get it up to over the next, say, 10 minutes or so. Just play with my phone until then. It's funny because doing like viewer requested videos like this is super easy and is a good filler on like a random day that we don't actually post. Yeah. Because I kind of want Wednesday to be the normal posting day. Yeah. And if I can just have like a random thrown in viewer requested video, we can do a random thrown in viewer requested video. All right, what are we up to? Seems to have leveled off at 65 degrees C. So let's turn it off, put some toothpaste on it, and hopefully not kill it. Guess I'll have to move the camera in closer to get a good angle of this. All right, first things first, get the shroud off of here. Let's take all the screws out of the back of this thing. I'll take the shroud off. Disconnect the fan connector. This thing's really hot to the touch still. Should help with getting the cooler off of here. There it is. Cooler's off. And there is the exposed dye. Go ahead and clean off the dye. This thermal paste is still kind of gooey. Usually it's all dried up, but I take very good care of my trash GPUs apparently. So that's nice and clean. Go ahead and clean off the actual cooler. It's pretty cool, nice 4 copper heat pipes here. Some really nasty heat pads, but they'll be okay. So because this die is exposed and there are resistors around the edges of it, I'm going to take a little trick out of people who put liquid metal on their processors, GPUs, whatnot, and I'm going to lay down a layer of nail polish around the outside here, around the outside, to make sure that if any of this toothpaste is conductive, it won't short any of these resistors. And let that dry. Man, dyes are so pretty. Like, it's just such a perfectly flat piece of silicon. Polished, reflective. Alright, I'm impatient, so I'm just gonna hit it. It's very important that you get all of the dye covered because there's transistors literally everywhere in here. And if you get a little part of it not covered, you can overheat just that part. I think that's relatively good coverage. Just a little bit down here at the bottom. There it is. Toothpaste on a GPU die. Very bad ideas. I'm just gonna plop this right on top of here. Line up the 4 screws around the GPU die. Tighten those first. Don't know what that noise was, but I hope it wasn't something breaking. Plug back in the fans. And tighten the remainder of the screws. And there it is. A Sapphire R9 380 with toothpaste as thermal interface material. So, best of luck. Alright, just got done swapping out the thermal paste for toothpaste. That's the worst trade deal in the history of trade deals, possibly ever. Put this bad boy in here. And say a prayer, because I can't imagine this is going to end well. I mean, it worked kind of for the CPU, but we weren't direct dye cooling the CPU with toothpaste, so the IHS kind of absorbs more of that heat and can distribute it to a better place, but this I don't know about. Did I unplug that? Oh, there it is. We'll know immediately if it's getting super hot because the fans will come on because it will know that it is getting hot. So the fans aren't immediately just going straight to max, which means it hasn't gone straight to overheating yet. I mean, it booted. We're in? Does it smell toothpastey? Not really. So load up Furmark and run the 1080 stress test. Be ready to close it out when it goes straight to max. Oh boy. Oh boy. Hey, wait. What are we seeing? 50 degrees, 51 degrees, 52 degrees. I mean, it might actually perform the same. 57 degrees. I think it's a little bit ahead of the thermal paste in this department, but it has not immediately overheated yet, which I'm kind of surprised by. Did not expect that. We're up to 61 degrees, so it is ahead of the thermal paste, clearly. It really should be getting hotter than the thermal paste, because, you know, that would make sense, right? All right, it scored exactly the same, which means it was not throttling at all there. Oh, shoot, well, Why not just run a GPU stress test if it's working? All right, I'm gonna let it run for like however long it takes to either shut off or get to a leveled off temperature. I don't remember where it leveled off before, so I can't really be, because I mean it might be leveling off with fan speed, so it could just be running louder to compensate for the.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to play with any of that. I just want to see if it works. We're just doing it to do it. This is not a serious. Do not try this. It's probably a bad idea, but here we are. Yeah, I guess I'll just sit here and let it run. Oh, please get up to 69 degrees and stay there. It looks like it's going to level off at 67. Now someone's going to be angry at me in the comments because I'm using a trash mid-range GPU from 6 years ago, which, to be fair, if we were using a more powerful GPU, which, I mean, it's not like this one isn't a power-hungry GPU. Like, what's the TDP of this thing? Yeah, so this is like a 190 watt card. So what's like 190 watt nowadays? Like, I think like a 270 is a 190 watt card. A 2070, my bad. If I had to guess.
175.
So this is a, quote, more power-hungry card than, say, a RTX 2070. So it's not like you couldn't do this with a 2070, especially because 2070s usually come with better coolers than this garbage. Yeah, we're just kind of fluctuating between 68 and 67 degrees. It's not particularly loud. If it was in a case, it would probably be louder because it's got to deal with warm air coming from inside of a case, but hey, Toothpaste actually worked on this one really well. It must be something to do with direct eye cooling and that it doesn't really care that much about the thermal interface that you're using. Although Intel brand Toothpaste doesn't do that great of a job, so I'm kind of amazed. It's not throttling. At least I don't think it's throttling, because you think it would be hotter than that to throttle. Like 67 degrees is not that hot for any computer part to run at. All right, and there you have it. Toothpaste on a GPU. It does surprisingly work, and it doesn't surprisingly do any worse than regular thermal paste, which I can't really comprehend why. I'm guessing it has something to do with direct eye cooling, but there it is. I want to thank Mr. pandagamerplayzz for the being engaged in the comments and asking us to do something like this. And if you want to have one of your ideas maybe featured on the channel, you know, leave a comment. Weird how that works. And you know, like the video, subscribe, and have a great day. Should I leave the toothpaste on there? You think it matters? I'm going to leave it on there. Maybe we'll revisit this and see if the toothpaste drying up after, like, say, a few weeks, months, years makes a difference.
Oh, man, put the Fix-It on. See if you can ever get it apart.
No, I threw the Fix-It away. It was trash. Oh, hey, look, we got a peel. After all these years. Bye, guys.